Miss Sally, my aide, saw me getting help from the math teacher. She marched over immediately, pushed the teacher aside, and told me to figure it out on my own. That was Miss Sally on a good day. On a bad day, she'd leave me with bruises and tears. I experienced a living nightmare for 6 years of my life, but not at home, at school. It all started when I was 4 years old. I went to daycare over the summer. I was drawn to one of the main counselors, Miss Sally. She took a liking to me and helped me work through all my struggles, frustrations, and sensory needs. I liked being around Miss Sally so much that I was sad to go back to preschool when summer ended. Luckily, with the help of my granddad, I was able to drop by the daycare center after school every now and then. Miss Sally was so welcoming every time she saw me and made time for me. She was even nicer than I remembered. When it was time for me to move into kindergarten at a new school closer to home, my parents had to think about support for me. I have autism and would probably have struggled in a regular classroom setting, so I needed an aide to stay with me at all times, including on the bus. My parents decided to make Miss Sally my aide since I felt so comfortable with her around me. I was so happy she agreed to it. I remember thinking she must really like me too. Unfortunately, she wasn't trained to be an aide or to work in a school system, and the school just threw her in without any preparations, which must have been really stressful for her. It turned out that in a school setting, she became an entirely different person. Just a few weeks into starting kindergarten, she force-fed a grilled cheese sandwich to me that I didn't like or want, and told me that if I didn't finish it, I would have to spend all night in the in-school suspension room. What started out as bad comments quickly snowballed to become physical. At school, she would squeeze my hands and arms so tight, twist my arm behind my back, backhand me, pinch my lips together, pull my hair, kick me, and step on my feet. If I acted out or wasn't listening, there would be physical consequences. I learned what was and wasn't okay to do in school, and as hard as I tried to stay in her lane, I'd miss some directions because I have a processing issue. I was just a little girl finding my way in the world. I needed the old Miss Sally who was kind, patient, and nurturing. I thought, she must be acting this way because I really am being a bad girl. I was so confused, so focused on trying to please her and walking on eggshells around her. Whenever I tried to confront her, she'd deny it or downplay it, saying she was only looking out for what's best for me. And if I even remotely told my parents something, she'd accuse me of lying. One morning, we were late for school. Once we turned the street corner from my house and we were no longer in sight, Miss Sally seized my arm and pulled me along to the school bus stop. She squeezed so hard that I left bruises on my arm. The next day, my mom noticed my arm and asked what happened. I tried to brush it off casually, but Mom really pushed. Miss Sally put so much fear and intimidation in me that I just couldn't tell my mom the truth. So I lied and said it was my dad or granddad. Then I started crying uncontrollably. Mom put me on her lap and gave me a hug. It felt so good. I felt loved. My mom must have thought I was crying from my arm, but I was crying because of the lie I just told. Because I felt so scared. Mom might ask Miss Sally about this, and there be repercussions. When I was 6, Miss Sally dragged me onto a rug by my shirt, and my upper lip caught on the edge of the rug. And next thing you know, I got a rug burn on the inside of my lip. Once again, I didn't dare to say a word about it because she was so bipolar, so manipulative, so two-faced, so unpredictable. None of the other teachers or students ever saw any of this happening. She was so nice towards my parents. They trusted her completely and never suspected anything. I barely had any friends at school because Miss Sally turned me into a timid girl who was always on edge and easily spooked. My classmates just found me weird and never wanted to play with me. I endured in silence throughout elementary school. She robbed me of my childhood, and I emerged as an unconfident and insecure little girl during my teens. Miss Sally left me with temporary physical marks and bruises over the years, but it's nothing compared to the lasting mental and emotional scars I have been suffering from ever since. I'm in high school now, and I still have such bad anxiety. I still struggle to ask for help when I need it because anytime Miss Sally saw me getting help from the teacher, she would push the teacher aside and make me figure it out on my own. "Sometimes you have to figure out things for yourself," she would say. So now I refuse help all the time with everything because of her, and I have no idea how I'm going to make it through college because of it if I can't get help. Throughout high school, I didn't have the courage to tell anyone about what happened in my elementary school. I really wanted to report it to the cops and bring justice to all this. I wanted Miss Sally to be punished for what she did to me. I wanted my family to finally know the truth about all that happened. But I had no physical evidence, nothing I could use, just my words. Miss Sally could say none of that ever happened, and I could be the one getting in trouble with my parents and the law, while Miss Sally gets off scot-free. After I finally gathered the courage to tell my boyfriend, he rejected me because of how disturbed he felt. And as for my mom, when I told her about Miss Sally, she would say she could have handled the situation by herself. She said, "If I had known about her back then, I'd have got rid of her immediately." Whatever that means. My mom won't let me tell this to any of my classmates from my old elementary school because she thinks people wouldn't believe my story and would make fun of me. But I think it would help them understand some of the weird mannerisms I had at school. It would be such a relief for me if they would finally understand my behavior back then. My mom would also tell me I'll never succeed in college if I don't get help when I need it. But yet, she won't let me speak up and get help from what I went through during elementary school. She thinks I'm making excuses. I love my family, but it feels like they don't understand me. I often think they don't take me seriously. All this makes me want to end my life because I feel that my negative experiences will keep me from succeeding in life. I'm confused and questioning what and where to go in life. I hope one day I can somehow be successful in life and bounce back from all that happened to me. I'm 18 years old at the moment and still questioning whether or not I should show my face at class reunions. Will they make fun of me? Will they remember what a strange emotional mess I was and try to avoid me even after all these years? Well, if there is one lesson I learned from this experience, it's that nobody should have the right to dismiss your story no matter how weird or inconsequential it seems to them. It has only been this past year that I've gained confidence in telling my story to more people. Sharing and getting support really helped me to erase some of the scars. I'll continue this way and hope everything will only get better from now on.